Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hazwani Ateera binti Hisham, matric number 1181406. Inshallah, now I will present the topic that I chose is the concepts and principles of e-commerce in the perspective of Islamic Sharia. First, we will start with the introduction. Muamalah is a financial and economic framework that oversees the economic existence of the Muslim community. As we know, the muamalah system today is evolving in line with more sophisticated technological systems. For example, today we can shop and sell online on applications like Shopee, Lazada, and Instagram. With the e-commerce execution system, business transactions will be easier and faster as it can be done online without having face-to-face. The principles in Islam also are never outdated, even though what is stated is only in the form of simple principles and rules. Islam is not a rigid and undeveloped religion. However, as a result of the implementation of e-commerce, various Sharia issues have arisen, prompting contemporary jurists to seek ijtihad to settle these issues. According to past studies, e-commerce is permitted, and it is hoped that this will raise the development of muamalah activities in Malaysia. But some new issues that have arisen also need to be discussed to prevent Muslims from doing business in the wrong way. Next, we will move to literature review. According to a research journal written by Nawarafna, e-commerce is a buying and selling of goods through the internet or through online services. Muamalah from an Islamic perspective is a financial and economic system that governs the Muslim community's economic life. E-commerce also is another example of muamalah in Islamic economics. After that, Muhammad Yusran also said in his article, based on Islamic point of view, e-commerce has an understanding that is almost the same as conventional trade, which means that there are a number of laws in e-commerce that must adhere to Islamic principles and be accepted by Islam. After that, we will go through the discussion and findings. There are three different issues that have been discussed in this writing. For the first issue is, what form of Islamic contract occur in e-commerce? Sharia concerns that arise in regard to the type of contract that occurs in e-commerce, such as verbal, written, deed, and gesture contracts. According to Islamic jurists, muamalah contracts are frequently referred to as akad, which signifies the engagement between offering and accepting in ways that are prescribed and have an impact on what is assumed. In short, the form of contract that occurs in this e-commerce system today is a written contract and has been discussed by Islamic jurists before. But the only difference is that the fuqaha discuss written contracts by giving examples such as the written correspondence that took place in their time before. Next, for the second issue is, what is the status of goods sold online on the internet? According to Hanafi school, if a customer buys something that he cannot see, the sale is lawful and the buyer also has the option of continuing the purchase or not, which is known in Islamic term as khiyar. Then, according to Maliki and Hanbali school, it is allowed to buy and sell unseen items, but the nature of the product must be stated if the product are not available at the time of the contract agreement. But if the items are available at the time of the agreement, it is not valid to buy and sell only on the basis of the nature of the goods, but permitted only if the items cannot be opened as it can cause damage. Meanwhile, Shafi'i school has two different opinions regarding the issue. The first opinion says that it is not valid at all to buy and sell unseen items, even if the items can be seen to one person only, because there might be fraud. While the second opinion said that the sale and purchase of unseen item is legal as long as the item's properties are described and the buyer has the right to conduct khiyar as soon as he sees the items. For the last issue is how transactions are used to deal in e-commerce affair. There are a range of payment options available in e-commerce transactions, including transfers and on-site credit card payments. In e-commerce transaction, debit and credit cards are the most used payment options, but the debit cards are seen as the superior means of payment from an Islamic perspective because interest, which is riba, is not allowed. In addition, murabahah is an Islamic financing contract that allows banks to utilize it as a credit instrument to finance buyers against predetermined earnings while avoiding risk. Therefore, the murabahah system can be utilized to replace credit card as an alternate payment option. In addition, the buyer's bank transaction receipt for the items that he purchased can be also used as a proof of payment for the sale and purchase. Okay, next, we move to the survey's information. In this writing, a survey has been conducted in obtaining data and information on the level of public knowledge about the topic. So, this survey was conducted using Google Form with Malaysians as the target population because the e-commerce industry is quickly expanding in the country, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic imposed. For the first section of the survey is to determine the respondents' demographic. This part has received 100 responses and was able to reach the core target population, which consists of 60 students. The data obtained also revealed that the majority of those who responded to the poll were between the ages of 18 until 23, which is a total of 56 people. After that, the second section of the form seeks to determine how frequently respondents are involved with and have experience with e-commerce businesses. According to the data, 98% of Malaysians usually shop for their everyday needs on this e-commerce site. And also, almost 81% of them are among online sellers. According to the data collected, only 47 people know the sort of valid contract done in e-commerce according to Islamic Sharia. For the third section, 10 short questions were included in the survey to determine whether or not they agreed with the statement. Among the findings to the question is almost 95% of people say that online applications are frequently utilized as a platform to shop. Other than that, 64% agree that Muslim transactions such as purchasing cows and goats online to perform ibadah korban are allowed in Islam. However, the balance of 36 people are still skeptical about the purchasing regulation. After that, 96% of respondents also agreed that consumers will surely gain from this e-commerce system because it considerably simplifies work time and energy. Although the system is very convenient, 87 people agree that consumers also should be cautious when making payments for things that they want to buy. Lastly, choosing a financial system that complies with Sharia compliance and principle is a viable option for tackling the problem. This strategy was also agreed by 91 out of 100 people who answered this survey. Lastly, for the summary and conclusion, business is the most important economic resources. As a result, profits earned from commercial operation also must be compliant with Islamic law. To make it short, there are various aspects of e-commerce that need to be taken into account in terms of halal trading in Islam. Islam is indeed encouraging the development of e-commerce as a trading tool nowadays. However, this guideline should be used to the fullest extent possible, which means that e-commerce transactions must consider business ethics, payment methods, contracts, buying and selling system, as well as consumer and producer rights according to the Sharia principle. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.